Mike Chebach, the founder of Cruising Krakow, was born in Krakow. He left Poland at an early age with the rest of the communist-era exodus and moved to Vancouver, Canada. Mike completed a degree in philosophy at the University of British Columbia, sold his car, and moved to the opposite end of the cultural spectrum, Spain. He worked in Barcelona, but after 3 years of beaches, sunshine, and sangria, returned to the city of his birth. Mike has been running Cruising Krakow since 2006. The firm offers bike and Segway tours for which roads are not necessary. You can blaze the trails, charge the open fields, and trek through the dirt. These off-road beasts have a wide base platform for maximum comfort, deep tread tires to traverse all sorts of terrain, and will go up to 20 kilometers per hour for about 20 kilometers. Jon Carter and Mike Chebach will be taking you for a tour around Krakow.
Okay then, Michał, so where are we now?
I brought you this mystical little courtyard in order to show you these magnificent cement stairs.
Okay.
Well, there's a famous scene in Schindler's List, the film, filmed right here. First of all, I should tell you that most of the movie was filmed here portraying the ghetto, which isn't actually accurate. The ghetto is located across the river from us in Podgórze.
Okay.
So most of the movie was filmed here, and they show the ghetto being evacuated. They show the remaining Jews being moved into the concentration camps, and a mother, along with her daughter, tries to hide in one of these apartments. But when they open up the floorboards in the apartment, there's already a family hiding there. They tell her there's no room for the two of them. The mother can just leave her daughter. She does so. She comes running down these steps here, but her daughter shortly joins her afterwards, and then the two of them bump into a boy who starts whistling on his whistle, alarming the Nazis. There's still some Jews hiding. Before you know it, turns out the little boy recognizes the girl as they used to be neighbors. So when he realizes who it is, he proceeds to hide both the mother and her daughter underneath these very steps before telling the Nazis, actually, there aren't any Jews here.
Mrs. Dresner?
Yes. Oh, you are a friend of my son's. Don't worry, I'll go quietly. I'll be no trouble.
No, get under the stairs. They'll be down searching soon. You'll be safe there. Please, hide.
Not by the sun.
Please, hide under the stairs. I've searched the building. There's no one here. Hello, Adam. Hello, Danka. Come with me. I will put you in the good line.
Do you know the saying now of life is still life? You are not a boy anymore. I'm saying a blessing for you.
Why do you think Spielberg chose this area if it wasn't actually this area where, you know, where the ghetto actually was?
It looks a lot more interesting. I mean, the ghetto today is very communist era style, and of course, we're talking about the war, which is pre-communist times.
Okay, so has it got a little bit more atmosphere in this?
It does indeed.
And it does, yeah.
And it's still at the heart of the Jewish soul in Krakow even today.
Right. Okay then. And does anybody still live here today? Or
they do. Yep. So these are private homes today. There used to be a restaurant down here, but as you can see, it's closed as of last year.
Okay.
And I believe they're going to be opening something new. Besides that, there's a great beer garden just located at the entrance to this courtyard, which now it's closed. It's early spring, but in the summer, it is the best place to be. As 30 years ago, this is not the place you want to go at night. It's kind of a shady district, but now it's turned into the trendy part of town with a lot of bars, cafes, restaurants, and boutique shops opening up.
Okay, yeah. I can sort of imagine it having a little bit of edge in here, sort of a lot of dark shadows and hiding places and sort of things like that. All right then, yeah. So, and what's the actual name of this specific little area?
We know it as the Mlecharnia, named after the bar that's located here. That's how all the locals call it.
Okay, okay.
Or the square of Schindler's List stairs.
Yeah, there you go. It's always like Hollywood's always got this something a little bit which leaves its mark, right?
Exactly.
Okay. All right then. Let's make a move, shall we?
All right.
Kazimierz was once an independent town governed separately from Krakow until the late Middle Ages. Later, it became known as the Jewish quarter of the city and was finally transformed into a center for Krakow's beatnik bars and cafe culture. All that history makes for an awesome array of activities and sights. The Kazimierz Dolny commune is proud of its rich cultural heritage. There are over 150 architectural buildings and structures, as well as historical monument complexes and 396 movable relics located mainly at various sacral facilities, which are legally protected and entered into a registry of historical monuments. Apart from the aforementioned objects, 180 other buildings, complexes, and memorials are considered cultural assets.
All right then. So, where are we now then, Michal?
Right now, we're located on the far side of the old Jewish cemetery. So I say there's old Jewish cemetery, there must be a new Jewish cemetery. The big difference between the two is in the Middle Ages, Jews had a hard time getting any real estate, so any land that they could get to devote towards the cemetery is usually quite restricted. As a result, there used to be a saying in Poland that Jews are buried sitting, so take up less space so that they're closer to God. In reality, they're not sitting, they're actually stacked, one on top of the other. So each generation, a new layer of soil is put down, and the next generation would be buried above the previous. And that's the way it is here. And as a result, this is the gate of the cemetery, and as you can see, it's quite small.
Yeah.
And that's a result of the level of the cemetery rising over the generations.
Wow, so how old is this cemetery then?
The oldest tombstones date back to the beginning of the 16th century.
Jeez, all right, so it's particularly old. So how many levels do we think there might be?
About nine generations.
Whoa, okay.
And one of the reasons why these tombstones dating so far back are so well preserved is that during the Nazi occupation, the Nazis used this cemetery as a garbage dump.
Okay.
So that actually resulted in the tombstones being very well preserved, being underneath the garbage.
Oh, I see. Okay, okay. And is it still kind of, should we say, active today? Are people still being buried here? Or?
No, there's the new Jewish cemetery, and people are still being buried there. That one dates back to the beginning of the 19th century. But it was completely destroyed during the Second World War and then rebuilt in the 1960s.
Okay, and so can people go inside to visit, or?
It's part of the Ramu Synagogue, named after a famous rabbi who's buried here. And your ticket to visit the synagogue includes your visit to the cemetery, so it's paid. The other one is free.
Okay then. And are there any particularly well-known people who were buried here, or?
So the synagogue is named after Rabbi Moses Isserlis, and the reason that he's famous is that he translated the Spanish Codex of Jewish laws and applied it to Central Europe. And so every year on the anniversary of his death, Jews from all over the world come and visit his grave. So it's the most important grave located here.
Okay then. So, and is there a particular reason maybe why they chose this particular site? Does it have some sort of significance, or?
Well, it's next to the synagogue.
Okay. And where's the synagogue?
We're going to head over there now.
I see. Okay. Well, let's make a move towards the synagogue then.
All right then.